Still live. So let's check. Yeah, may I check it now? Yeah, may I check it now? May I check it now?
Yeah, live. Me have from my phone.
Alright, good.
Yeah, live. Me have from my phone.
Alright, good. So first of all, I say all praises to how for Shumi Ashai, or Shamra Kwadash, the bonus to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And shalom to the brothers in the highways and byways pushing this word now, sincerity and truth. The sisters, the believers, the helps. Shalom. This is Brother Irawam from the Jamaica camp.
Zach.
And basically, we just want to do a short lesson upon the current geopolitical things that happen, yes, worldwide, but we being in the Caribbean, there are things happening in the Caribbean pertaining to the prophecies of World War III, right? And most closer to home, Jamaica, which is where the tribe of Benjamin predominantly dwell, right? We see things that happen even within our environments. We are sure that look, the prophecies have come to pass, and we're also connected to the big players, right? Now, if anybody know not about Jamaica, right, them know that we are basically at the center point of the Caribbean, right? Usain Bolt, dancehall music, reggae music, certain foods, certain culture. So the quote unquote Jamaican culture is a well-known thing in the whole entire world, right? But right now, one of the main, from ever since it was one of the main trade spots of the Caribbean. Reason being, everything when you come on to the passing off of things between even the Panama Canal, Slovakia, and the US, right? There is a Jamaica is the stop point, basically the middle ground. So everything pass through, whether it go in or come out, it have them always pass through Jamaica, right? Now, couple months ago, or basically a year or so ago, you have the Chinese. They decide to say, look, we're gonna buy Goat Island um from the Jamaican people, and the US did have a problem with that right away because first of all, them lease the Goat Islands, plus outside of them leasing the Goat Islands, them and China in a trade war, and them also a face off in the South China Sea. So them don't want them enemy in them backyard with a big strategical marine basically a marine port, right? Or a place where can be a potential marine port for them enemy, right? So that caused a problem. Then Obama come to Jamaica and said, look, now make all the deals with the Chinese and all of that. So yo, careful what I do, which really they secretly are threatening them, say, look, mind we are with the enemy, right? And in the same breath, I say, yo, remember, say we have US foreign policy. And if we don't have power with US foreign policy, we might send in with troops, all right, we put our sanctions, and that's why him take him time and him a trend. We do a couple of videos on that. If you keep up with the World War III geopolitics, do videos on them thing they already, right? But one of the key things what we also mention is the fact that they think the security minister of the time, Dr. Peter Phillips, was a CIA agent or is a CIA agent based on when we do with something that is called a memorandum of understanding in regards to intelligence sharing with the world dusting and all of that, right? So at current times, how deal with now, that was just a recap for those who basically know. The current times in February, the Secretary of Defense, right, the then Secretary of Defense, Rex Tillerson, visit Jamaica. Also do a world war geopolitics upon that. You can go back to that. And him say, look, we'll come to solidify previous agreements with the Jamaican people. And also, in an interview with the Prime Minister, him say, look, anybody will now work with the US I say, we basically go cut off aid, cut off ties, and we just basically are done with them. We now help them. And the Prime Minister show him fan camera, say, yo, don't worry yourself. We are planning to keep up the same agreements and everything. And one of the main things when come talk about is bilateral trade, right? So the brother about to bring out an article, sorry for the lengthy intro, but the brother have an article upon what take place with China, right? In regards to bilateral trade, right? Um, so okay, you can bring out the invite to the BRICS nation.
Yeah, I can have it. Alright, so yeah, it's from the Jamaica. It's a JIS, Jamaica Information Service, and it dated July 20th, 2018. And it said Prime Minister Andrew Holness has been specially invited to attend and participate in the 10th BRICS Summit set for July 25th to 28th and the Santon International Convention Center in Johannesburg, South Africa. The
Exactly.
historic,
So if you know anything about the BRICS nation, you know that it is basically an alliance formed by China, Russia, Brazil, right, South Africa, and a couple other countries. We basically they move away from the US dollar. So if Rex still is to come and say, look, we are planning to solidify ties, right? And then yeah, go with the enemy if we go in our movement, which is against our economy. That now spell sense. So basically, you're going to create an enemy right there, right? The right there and then you basically a move away from the US. Now, what that mean for quote unquote Jamaica, right? It means that the time will come where everybody have to pick a side. That's the thing. With this world war, there is no middle ground. Everybody have to pick a side, right? So you have the South American nations, them have to pick a side. You have the European nations have to pick a side. The Asian nations them have to pick a side. You have the African nations them have to pick a side. Everybody have to play a part in this war, right? So right now, when Rex come and talk to them in February, basically what this question was, whose side are you on? Right? Continue up.
and it said the historic invitation makes Prime Minister Holness the first ever head of government in Jamaica and the Caribbean to take part in the BRICS Summit. BRICS is an acronym for the grouping of the world's leading emerging economies, namely Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. The
All right.
summit,
So that are two. We hear all of them players here, but we are two major players. We are Russia and China. Now, if it's a case where Jamaica work to solidify US ties, why them are going on economical movement against the US dollar? Right? Why them are do that? And as we said, what are going to be the consequences of that being done? Right? Go on up.
all right, he said the summit is convened annually with discussions spanning several areas to include political, economic, environmental, and socio-economic coordination. This year, Prime Minister Holness has been invited in his official capacity as chairman of the Caribbean Community, CARICOM. In his
Exactly.
accepted,
So that means Jamaica yeah, for all those who don't know, Jamaica are the head of CARICOM. So it's not even about Jamaica per se, but it's about the head of the Caribbean region, right? So now the Caribbean region have a part to play in this third world war, right? The who for economy come out on top, who have the most resources, right? We know that China have the Belt and Road Initiative. What about trying to rebuild the new Silk Road, right? Which also going to affect the US dollar. So for one hand, it's like Jamaica, our bitter caught between two men, right? And it's either eventually the two of them are fight, but at the same time, the two of them are gonna have a problem with her because hey, get the scripture up where say you cannot serve two masters, right? Because you don't care how this turn out. It's not gonna turn out good for Jamaica on none of his side, right? Because they might do it, they might try to serve two masters.
All right, this is Saint Matthew chapter 6 and verse 24. It said, "No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. He cannot serve the Most High and Mammon."
Exactly. So just like how in spiritually we can't be a part of this world, or we can't serve the flesh or serve Satan and the Most High. Same say the same thing with Jamaica, right? Them can't dip on US side and dip on China and Russia side at the same time. It's one or the other, right? It can't be both.
Can go back to the article. Yeah, we lost it on the live stream. I'm not sure either. But me still connected right now. Yep. Con. Yeah, so okay, I'm having a bit difficulty here. I lost the brother from the live stream as well. I'll try to connect back. I'm missing the invite. Nope. It's add apps. Top right, is it? Nothing like that. Yeah. You don't think we see a chat? The only thing we can do text me something else.
Salaki Akim. Yeah, we go back to the second to last link.
That are the JS
Yeah, the second to last one from the GIS.
Second to last on JS. Well, I'm not sure exactly what you mean. Second to last one JS link.
The second to last paragraph.
Oh, it's a paragraph, sorry. Here's a link.
Salaki.
Second to last. So when you say 20 after 27, the date, you say interest in the interest of ensuring maximums.
No, in the meantime. In the meantime.
Okay. Right. So you say in the meantime, Prime Minister Holness will also hold bilateral discussion with several leaders during his visit to the BRICS summit. The Prime
Exactly.
Minister
Go on.
The Prime Minister will be accompanied by Senator Honorable Kamina Johnson Smith, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade.
So you see that? Right there and then, they might discuss bilateral discussions, and then make sure them carry the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, right? When them supposed, if them they do this with the US based on how them are start, everything would have good. But right now, it look like they might do something completely opposite from what the Marex are talking about, because them are American allies per se, right? And we have a small article in the meantime. It's from the Loop, right? This is a Jamaican media house as well. It says bilateral trade between Jamaica and China expanding, right? So all of that go against the United States of America current policies and agreements with them with Jamaica, right? It says bilateral trade between Jamaica and the People's Republic of China increased from 58 million USD in 2000 to 382 million in 2017, right? And this article was posted on the 1st of July 2018, right? It says, Mr. This according to the Commercial Counselor, Economic and Commercial Counselor's Office, Embassy of the People's Republic of China in Jamaican, Jigong Fang, if I pronounce any name correctly. It says he notes that Jamaica remains his country's largest trading partner in the English-speaking Caribbean. That go again for sure that look, the ties, them not really add up, right? It says Mr. Fang points out that besides alumina, which basically the Jamaican aluminum is actually owned by Russia, because a Russian companies responsible for the bauxite industry, right? Jamaica will shortly commence lobster exportation to China, while adding that its country is the third largest source of local imports. Right? So all of this are do with benefiting China trade and all them thing there. Right? It says, meanwhile, Mr. Fang said China is now the biggest source of foreign direct investments for Jamaica. Right? So all of this are show right there and then say, look, the whole thing just a lead up to China, right? China benefiting in everything, right? It says Mr. Fang said that the launch of Sapman Jamaica Limited represents further expansions of the bilateral relations between China, Jamaica, and China share. Its establishment results from a partnership forged between Jamaican firm Tankwell Group and Sapman, a state-owned entity. Under the collaboration, Tankwell Group, the largest supplier of building materials locally, will through its subsidiary, Tankwell Equipment, be the sole dealer for Sapman trucks in Jamaica. So all of them here, if you're familiar with the Jamaica Stock Exchange, you would hear them names here regularly, right? It says the partnership also involves JN Bank, which is a Jamaica National Commercial Bank, right? Which will facilitate commercial loans for persons purchasing the trucks and is expected to go a far way in providing reliable units for local haulage contractors requiring heavy duty vehicles. So all of them something all type of agreement they make the keep it moving. It says Mr. Fang said the Chinese government attaches great importance to its ties with Jamaica and will work with its local counterparts to promote the sustained and in-depth growth of our friendly partnership for common development. Right? The Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries Minister, Audley Shaw, who spoke at the launch, said China's engagements in Jamaica are welcomed and asked Mr. Fang to convey to his government the high appreciation and regards that the government and people of Jamaica have for China for its expanding relationship that we have. Right? As the scripture read earlier, no man can serve two masters. Right? So right there and then, that is a problem where the things not look too good for the US right now, right? Because what happened to them is that the one ally where them think them are, they don't have it. And as we said, Jamaica is a key strategic location when it comes to this war. Because when it comes to controlling the water, if you have China control a certain part of the waters, right? The previous video we tell you how Andrew only say we're responsible for a certain amount of the water body around Jamaica. Remember how much? But we basically have even the marine territory is basically at it's been vulnerable. US marine territory basically getting intruded upon, right? And basically what that do is cause US to get pissed and you ever start hear all type of propaganda say, oh, this happen, that happen. Whatever they plan to do. But the US not do nothing yet, but believe that something is coming, right? Something is definitely coming. And we them plan to use what them call the office the memorandum of understanding, right? Where them actually the last time them use this, them actually come for Dodos out of Tivoli, right? So I can get the memorandum of understanding going riffs, right?
Green Reefs.
Yeah.
All right, so this is from the Gleaner, dated September 17, 2018. It's a green rifts between US, Jamaica's government at stalemate over intelligence sharing MOU.
Exactly, because guess what happened now? the memorandum of understanding in regards to intelligence sharing, them basically want to have it updated. But the reason why they want to have it updated is because they want to be able to have information on everything we're going in. Like Jamaica to basically freely give over every information when them request in regards to any matter we're going in the country. Whether I want upon citizens, whether I want upon a particular ministry or a particular minister, right? Basically, they must say you have some constitutional laws where will get if affected. But really and truly, them are list some things where them feel like that are responsible. This is the reason why them want it. Continue up.
It reads, there are increasingly loud whispers in diplomatic circles about a growing rift between the governments of Jamaica and the United States, US, over the terms of a proposed updated intelligence sharing memorandum of understanding MOU between the two countries.
All right, so I will just bring out the definition of memorandum of understanding.
All right, so this is Memorandum of Understanding, MOU. What is a Memorandum of Understanding, MOU? A Memorandum of Understanding is a non-binding agreement between two or more parties outlining the terms and details of an understanding, including each party's requirements and responsibilities. An MOU is often the first stage in the formation of a formal contract.
Exactly. So basically, them come and say, look, we have this is what we are agreed to, right? So before the contract, them say, oh, these are the details of our agreement, and them say, oh, we actually similar to as a letter of intent. Let's get that definition to up, or Kasha.
Letter of intent from Investopedia, and the first one was as well from Investopedia. .com. It's a letter of intent, LOI. What is a letter of intent? A letter of intent, LOI, outlines the terms of a deal and serves as an agreement to agree between two parties. An
Okay.
LOI.
So the LOI and the letter on the memorandum of understanding are basically the same thing, only that the LOI, it is a binding contract. Once you sign it, you're bind to the agreement. But when you sign a letter of memorandum, when you sign up, but going forward, right, when you institute the memorandum of understanding, Silakia only applies once the agreement has been made. Now, couple years back, the Dr. Peter Phillips, him actually they draft up one and him actually did sign to it, so him turn it into an agreement. So right now, where the article says that them plan to update it and them have a rift. Reason why they want to update it is because they need to spy upon China, because hey, China have a hell of a lot of investment in Jamaica right now, yo. Everywhere you go in Jamaica, yes, the Chinese are work. And the key thing when them work on road. And many other infrastructures, buildings and things, but like the main place we are going to see them, right upon the road them. So till all everybody say, oh, Chinese are colonized with all type of things are going, right? Couple brothers do couple videos on it already. But yeah, the Chinese them they like a feed them land. Basically.
If me can add, basically the north-south highway was funded by China as well, and a part of the contract they actually got land is in Jamaica alongside the highways. So China actually own section of Jamaica right now, and when them default upon debt, as the scripture say, the borrower is a servant of the lender, so I'm going to become slave. China is basically going to own territory.
Fine. You got the article.
It's a Gleaner source says the two governments have been in talks for some time, but have been unable to find a common ground.
And this is the reason why, because of the same scripture we read earlier say you cannot serve two masters. Because if them sign the current terms of that officer memorandum, then basically what they have to do is they have to show China business to the United States, And if them show up China business to the United States, then China and them are gonna have problems. Right? So them and America have a problem because them not sign over. And if them sign over, then them and China are gonna have a problem. So basically, them caught between a rock and a hard place, as they would say in the world. Right? Continue up.
Right. It's according to sources, the Andrew Holness administration is barking on some of the requests of the US government and has indicated that it has questions about the constitutionality of some of the demands of the Americans.
Exactly. Because them know say, oh, look, them have access to all our information, is so do as them please. Them not gonna come out and say it like that because them have to pretty it up. But really and truly, that's what them are say. And here comes the excuse in the next paragraph. Go on.
It's about with Jamaica remaining a major source of drugs going into the US, plus the damaging of lottery scam, where Jamaicans have bought millions of dollars from unsuspecting Americans. The US is demanding carte blanche access to suspected scammers of the drug dealers and drug
So you see
dealers.
that? So you see that? Them basically say, oh, the reason why we want to do this, I think check on them drug dealer and them thing here. Yo, US not care about that. That right now, that at least are the US problem. Because guess what? China and them backyard. So for the forefront, them want say, yeah, man, because we have, yo, them something happened to you. But guess what? Them now pre say, yo, the Chinese part I think are coming. So even though the Jamaicans, them if I did this alone, trust me, doing them politicians here, they would have signed this long time. Because them don't give a shit about Jake. And that is the truth. Right? These politicians don't care about Jake and Jake constitutional rights. It is about the agreements. It's not limited to Jake. It's not limited to Jamaican population. It will limited to it will be expanded towards Jamaica and everybody where Jamaica are dealings with, i.e. China. Right? And okay, can continue read and break it down. Look up the term carte blanche.
Con. All right. Let's pick up where we start off here. He said, to compound the matter, the Americans are reportedly concerned about the increasingly warm relationship with Jamaica and Israel amid allegations that the Israelis are in the island looking to provide guidance to improve the intelligence gathering operations of Jamaica security forces. And if you know basically geopolitics here, you recognize this would be of null and void excuse, isn't because America is actually in cahoots with Israel. Isn't so this is only excuse them try build up the basically try to justify the matter of trying to get intelligence in Jamaica so they can spy upon them enemy China. Continue the article.
From Wikipedia, carte blanche, it says it's a French phrase meaning unlimited discretionary power to act, unrestricted authority. So in regards to intelligence sharing, they want to have unrestricted authority or unrestricted access to intelligence or information, basically. Go on.
It's right now, there is a stalemate, but Jamaica has to sign intelligence sharing MOUs with the US, the United Kingdom, and Canada. So the parties are trying to find common ground, but the Americans are not appearing to want to budge on their demands, said a Gleaner source.
Exactly, because look now. So you have China, Russia, because if you find out information about China, right, where I'll fund you, you have a Russian aluminum or a Russian bauxite company in your country, and China have certain ties with Russia. We already have with different spies them in Russia find out what China and Russia do, right? And we want to know what the information that you have, right? Or them work with you to counter we. Because what them really want to do is to find a way to counter Russia and China, but they need information. So we need to see all of the agreements them what China use or make with you to see how them are come up against we so we can counter them. Right? Because that's what US, Canada, and what the next one? US, Canada, and the
United
UK.
Kingdom, Britain.
Right. So allies against allies, yo. Countermeasures. Countermeasures versus the aggressors, yo. It's war. It's economical war. It's information war, yo. And guess what? Intelligence, information, and business work hand in hand because you need information for the trading. You need to know where the trade stops them there. You need to know demographics, right? You have to know supply and demand, how quick things are coming, how quick things are go out, how fast the Chinese them are bringing things, how fast them are push them out, right? When them boats scheduled for coming and out. Because guess what? If me know when a man are bringing film goods, all I need to do is send out a warship and accidentally do something make all of them goods they sink, him not reach, not sell. It's all about information. It's all about trading, as the Akim will always say. Oh.
They say there has been no official word from the government of the imbroglio, and the source says the ministries of national security, justice, and foreign affairs are all involved in the discussion, which is being led by the office of the prime minister.
So you see that two articles that we read with two different things, where the foreign minister and we're also responsible for trade involved. I see that they make sure they put the foreign minister and foreign affairs and trade under one banner, right? So anything with the foreign minister involved in automatically associated to trade in some way, shape, or form. Right? So hey, them people love that was like, oh, a Jamaica me there, this not have nothing to do with me. And we over there, that's a China, they over there, son, that's America over there, son. From in the day, say, nah, affect me. Well, see, it affect you now. Right? And what they because of them things here, make the Jamaican dollar jump go 135 or they are 135 right now. So everybody I wonder, why the dollar just jump so? What take place? Because of them behind the scenes agreements and them behind the scenes rifts here where take place. Why the economy fluctuate and why things are happening in a day to day. Right? I'm not to mention certain things with the IMF and them things because basically the US lean upon IMF, but really and truly Russia and them are basically are deal with BRICS. Right? Yeah, them still associated with the IMF because them are on the international the World Bank and them other groups there because hey, and like BRICS need there long before, but it has shown say yo, the moves are being made, the chess moves, them basically are come out yo, so to speak.
I have two precepts in regards to the buying Jamaica in. This is Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 1. He said, they say, if a man put away his wife, and she go from him, and become another man's, shall he return unto her again? Shall not that land be greatly polluted? But thou hast played the harlot with many lovers, ye return again to me, said the Lord.
Yes. So instead of this, because guess what? Them politicians are now teach about the ways of Israel. Them now say, look, come back to the last judgment. Right? Them now not comparing to the scriptures. Right? So what them do, them trusting in these idols where people over here serve, them trusting in these other countries like US. You see me? And so like how Israel changed them gods, I jump from God to God to God. I said them I change from lovers to lovers to lovers. I know them are find themselves in the hot water for that. Right? Because at the end of the day, nobody now go on lose. Right? Because US are look upon all the money them already invest in Jamaica. China go look upon all the money them already invest in Jamaica. And they must say, look here, oh, you want to play the island? Fine. Go on your ways. Any one of them to back out the next, it will significantly affect everyone, yo. It's either US will go back out, China will gain and Jamaica still lose, or China back out, we still submit on the US, whatever. Jamaica still lose. In either case, the whole are going to lose, which the whole in this case of Jamaica. Right? That is why you can't serve two masters, yo. Because you're going to lose. You love the one and hate the other. But the thing about it is, you're going to lose. Because the government depend upon, it's basically like your legs, yo. If you cut off on your foot, them, you're still able to move with the next one, but you really impede your body to a great extent. You impede yourself to a great extent. So basically, in either case, you're going to be handicapped, yo. What are the next precept if I want to finish up?
Yeah, can. This is Isaiah chapter 28, verse 15. Because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at agreement. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us. For we have made lies our refuge, and in the falsehood have we hid ourselves. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, behold, I will lay in Zion for a foundation a stone, a tried stone, a precious cornerstone, a sure foundation. He that believeth shall not make haste. Judgment also will I lay to the line, and righteousness to the plummet, and the hill shall sweep away the refuge of lies, and the waters shall overflow the hiding place, and your covenant with death shall be disannulled, and your agreement with hell shall not stand. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, then ye shall be trodden down by it. And that's what's taking place right now, is because originally Jamaica started off with like loans and investments from the US. And because of that, the US had a foot in Jamaica, but then they went ahead and start play hard with Russia. That's why Russia basically owned the bauxite company, where the America launched sanctions on Russian companies. Them Jamaica basically to play into the US and say, hey, remember, wait, is them please excuse from the sanctions, and then basically give them a leave. No,
Venezuela, I mean, because even Venezuela, when them sanctions Venezuela and the oil company, Petrojam, assets get freeze. I'm gonna say, yo, Venezuela do them thing with them other nation. Oh yeah, freeze everybody assets. Free up some of the sanction them to an extent where we can get back some of our money, right?
And it's the same thing taking place right now with China. Is with China making a lot of investments in Jamaica. Is you invest to get basically reap a reward, because them tell us what I think a 20 years contract them have with the North Southeast Highway to basically China will reap all of the profit from the highway. Is and it's actually in discussion for raise it as well. Them get the land actually is the investment with them do. Them, for instance, I think a 93 billion, if I'm not mistaken, project, whether it's funded by China, is if it redevelop the roads in Jamaica, and them have it in like the corporate era. Them start in Kingston. There's road work being done in Clarendon. It's been also in Montego Bay. And what really monetary benefit that will be for the country, so they can pay back China, it actually will be none. So all that money, Jamaica is basically being like a whore. Is it just get your credit card and she just spend. Is it so when she don't spend the money, where man go on? Is it man I want something in return? Is it so them basically get caught in the bind between the like even two countries. Is it Israel and Jamaica right now? I say them have ties with Venezuela, them have ties with Russia, China, and America, and Britain.
UK.
Jamaica is still owned by the UK. So that's a hot water Jamaica in right now. So when the war starts,
the trade winds drill with Canada. Our precept here, the Ezekiel 16 verse 32. But as a wife that commit adultery, which taketh strangers instead of her husband, they give gifts to all whores. But thou gavest thy gifts to all thy lovers, and hirest them, they may come unto thee on every side for thy whoredom. And the contrary is in thee from other women in thy whoredoms, whereas none follow thee to commit whoredoms, but in that thou givest a reward, and no reward is given unto thee, therefore thou art contrary. As of them always have to go appease them and I say, oh yo, take time with we now. Hey, members say we are do this and members say we are do that. But and I said to go, yo, them are the one we have to constantly appease them, yo. But the man I go try appease the world with the gift. So it happen contrary to them.
Yeah, and it clearly shows as if you read about the precept, the think the last two line of Aquasha.
This part, this precept.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a it says, behold, verse 37 says, behold, therefore I will gather thy lovers with whom thou hast taken pleasure, and all them that thou hast loved, with all them that thou hast hated, I will even gather them round about against thee, and they will discover thy nakedness unto them, that they may see all thy nakedness. And I will judge thee as a woman that breaketh wedlock, and shed blood are judged, and I will give thee blood in fury and jealousy.
And that's what's coming, you see me?
Because when you check it, it say when you commit adultery, a death.
Right?
You say you might deal with them as what? As when a woman break it wedlock and they must spill blood. Right? So the judgment is coming for you Benjamites, yo, the so-called Jamaicans.
Hey, because if you buy in Jamaica, them run to loan or investment from other countries. Is I believe in the verse up top here, it actually states say them the gifts, but them not get any. Because any deal them sign, like for instance with IMF, with the World Bank, with China, it always actually put Jamaica in a deeper ditch. You see me? And then, for instance, if you invest something in one country, it means your request or your idea of actually get a reward at the latter end. Is me, and that basically Jamaica GDP is actually they are negative. Is me, them expenditure is higher than income. So if you're constantly borrow money or what they find interest, you're basically going to one deeper ditch and you find yourself selling things in your country and call it privatize, is me, and start giving away land. So them always a give, and them not receive. Why? Because them trust in these Edens, is in China, which are actually Moabites or America or whatever other country out there, yeah, is me, which them supposed to trust in your how about Shem Yahushai, because what we are sons of the Most High, is me, Israelites, right? Which the same thing happened with King Asa, is me, right? Instead of trusting Yahweh Shem Yahushai, in go make in go sign league, I think with the Assyrians or Egyptian, remember the exact city state back then, is me. But and the most I actually yesterday start deal with him for that sake, is because he say, oh, guess what? He's supposed to trust in me and not these Edens, yeah.
Precept.
Con.
Ecclesiastes Slovakia. Slovakia. Continue reading that. Slovakia.
All right. So reading about the article, where is that? Yeah, it said the intelligence sharing MOUs first came to public attention in 2011 during the Manat Todos Commission of Inquiry. Right? It said at that time the nation learned that the MOUs had been signed by then National Security Minister Dr. Peter Phillips, who argued that they were not presented to the cabinet because he did not need the approval of that body. Phillips defended his decision to sign the MOUs in 2004 and told the commission that they were not establishing or changing any government policies and did not substitute for, in any way, shape, or form the responsibilities of the court.
Well, that's a lie. Because really actually when is him give them the right to top without a warrant, yo. That is why them they end up of give over Dodos. Right? he basically give them the right there. So when I try to right now is them I try to amend that. That's why I say what the updated version, the US said the updated version more I use. Right? And nothing the scripture I'm gonna try to find earlier. This is Ecclesiasticus 21, verse 8. It says, he that buildeth his house with another man's money is like one that gathereth himself stones for the tomb of his burial.
And
So when them are the one that take this bag of loan, right? It just basically cause a problem, right? And when I read the article here, because somebody has said the same thing, but basically I have a second article from pressreader.com, right? We put it after the video go up, we put the links in the description. It basically the owners I said the reason, one of the main reasons why them not really quick to sign updated version are based on the fact say them have to consider them other partners who them are the business with, right? So they have to make sure say everybody with them in agreement with they on a fair point. But that never ever happen. Because if you have two enemies and then you have a signed agreement with two enemies, it means that both of them each perspective are gonna be contrary to the next one. As the scriptures they can two walk together unless they agree. The reason why them are enemy in the first place is because them don't agree. So if you have a signed agreement with enemies, then the two sides them now ever please. So you can't if you sign it and upset one or don't sign it and upset the other. Right? That is basically. Right? You have no more precept or anything you want to bring up, brother?
no, that was it.
Okay, so hope this was edifying, right? And was that what I say? All praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakwadash. The honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And I'm shalom to the brothers in the highways and byways pushing this word now, sincerity and truth. Sisters, the believers, the helps. Shalom.
Sure.